And I'm frozen again. Now I'm not. All right. How are you, sir?
Good, buddy. How are you, man? You freezing your butt off like I am?
I was, yeah, man. I mean, we're not used to this shit here in Miami.
Yeah, 45, man. It's like this is my little anecdote for today. This is the type of day when the iguanas start falling out of the trees because they're cold-blooded and they just shut down.
They do.
And then they fall out of the trees and they're laying everywhere on their back. And but they're not dead.
No, they're not dead. Except last year, my wife killed one because it bounced off the top of our car.
Yeah.
And it was a huge one. Scared the hell out of them. Just scared the hell out of my wife and daughter.
Oh, yeah, yeah. So it's a cold day down here, but, I'm going to open the windows up soon. But other than that, great weekend on my side.
Yeah. I mean, I did a bunch of honeydew stuff and, getting prepped for the week, the week.
Well, it's a big week. I've been talking about this all week, in crypto and what's going on, and people ask me what to do and talking about different, where does it go? When do you get in? And, everything. I'm seeing a lot of chatter now about some slightly lower points. I'm hearing, 28.5, I'm hearing 1700, but I'm moving around, but as a bounce, as a hard wick down and back up. So,
right.
I think if I'm new or if I've got in the 50s or the 4,000s on ETH, I am DCAing at this point. I sold my ETH at $4,000. So
yeah,
I'm not doing anything yet, but I'm waiting and I'm very close to starting to inch my way back in at this point.
Well, I tell you, one of my business partners in Material Indicators thinks we still have a capitulation to come and thinks we're actually going in recession. I'm not quite there yet. So.
Well, he probably read Cathie Wood's article. The thing is that the capitulation has to happen in the stock market first. And you're not going to, unless we've made that big change that I want to happen, where crypto is looked at as a contra to the equity markets. I don't think we're there yet. I mean,
no, we're not. And it's sad. I was just reading some tweets about that today. People talking about the fact that we're still so fucking tied to old school. It's brutal.
Well, because the investors are usually in both. So
yeah, I know.
But we put up that S&P chart a few weeks ago, and there's I'm a little bit in both, but or real estate or whatever. The thing is that we saw that S&P 500 chart, and when you get beyond the valuation elements of book value and enterprise value, I believe it was, the rest of it's all fluff. And that's all related to low cost of capital, tons of money printing. It had to happen. I'm not faulting anybody, but that's why. And there's, a 40 to 45% fluff in there. Then when you look at like the market PE average now versus the market's historical PE average. So to me, when people are saying 35% correction, I don't think it's out of the world.
Right.
I hope not, of course.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you got to trim the fat, man. And you can't grow back until you trim this fat. So
what I find interesting is nobody knows really what the fuck's going on. It's funny because I listened to Jason Calacanis and Chamath and David Trumper Sachs and Friedberg. Oh my God, I got to talk about this guy's project that's been in stealth that he came out last week about. Anyway, remind me to talk about Caba. But anyway, like 3 weeks ago, these fuckers are like, inflation is running away. It'll be going forever. We're going to have this massive inflation forever. It's just hideous. Blah, 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 blah. Get out, get out, get out. And now it's, and they kept making fun of the government for saying that it was going to be transitory inflation. Now they're like, oh yeah, no, I don't think we're having big inflation. We're done with that now. There was enough money pushed in to hold it down, but now the money's drying up and COVID's drying up. So all the stocks that benefited from COVID, blah blah blah, are going going down. Peloton, Netflix, blah blah blah. Speaking of which, I made money on those and Zoom. That was the last stocks I bought. But No, my bottom line on this, I don't think anybody knows, right? I mean, it's like, nobody knows
No,
what's going to happen.
it's never an exact science. I mean,
Yeah.
why do you think I'm not saying you, but I'm just
Yeah.
making a generalization of the banks exist, the rating agencies exist, the government agencies exist, everything exists. Just try to figure this stuff out.
Yep.
And usually half of them think one way, half think the other way. So,
Right.
You have to kind of weed through all of these sources and figure out what makes sense. I mean, I think to me, when I look at it and I think, okay, global economic shutdown for the pandemic. And, up to that point, we were, supply channels, supply chains, inventory, all of that was, real time, just in time inventory. I mean,
Yep.
the whole model of the last 30 years was to get rid of the warehouse.
Yep.
And so, one thing on the shelf that you grab and then another one mysteriously shows up, or the vendors stock the shelves. It's like nothing is, everything was no buffer basically for a Netflix analogy. There's no buffer there. Right. And so now it's shut down, came to a screeching halt, a while back, and then you restart it. Yep. So let's say you're Apple and you want to know where I don't know if they make I'm just using an example. I don't know if they make their chips or buy them. I can't remember, but somebody buying chips.
No, they're making their own chips now.
Okay. So somebody buying chips from say TSMC, the big Taiwanese chip making company that's the biggest in the world. So they go there and they're like, well, dude, we just fired the factories back up. Well, we need 50 billion. And it's like, oh, well, you're number 4 on the list. We should be able to fill that order in about 4 months. And then they're like, fuck, I can't do that. What if I give you 10% more? Can you move me to the first spot? And they're like, yeah. And so boom. So there you go. Price pressure right there. So everybody's coming in trying to get that limited supply.
Yeah.
Demand's up, supply's down. Well, Econ 101, we know what happens there. So then that's going. And then it happens in every sector trying to fill the stores, and the stores are competing for the finished product. And then all the stimulus money out there that, went to people that use it to buy food and clothes, right? Went to the store to spend it. They have more than they've had in a while, I presume, and they spent it. So now you got buying pressure there. So once that demand for those goods starts slowing down a little bit, that peak demand, and the supply chains catch up, well, inflation should be transitory at that point.
Yeah. Well, and they were all putting it into stocks in Robinhood too. And, at some point they had it all in and there was nothing to hold up the stock Ponzi scheme. Right. So they had to, eventually that bubble had to deflate.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's, I don't know. I've been in several, economic calamities over the last 30 years. I mean, macro calamities, the 9/11 crash, the dot-com crash, 2008, Asian financial crisis. And I think that was 97. Yeah. And there was another one in like 92, 93, the Korean one, or maybe that's the same one. There was a bunch of them back there.
Yeah.
That weren't nearly as bad as these. And the fact of the matter is it always comes back.
Yeah.
And
yeah, look, I mean, it does. And that's the bottom line. If you have the protections in place for yourself personally, you can weather it. Right. So it's like, look, I'm a hodler whether I want to be right now. So, it's like hanging on for the ride. So, it is what it is. Speaking of manufacturing. So David Friedberg, he is he's on the All In podcast, but he's not a venture capitalist. He owns a holding company that invests in biotech and all kinds of health, medical startups. Mm-hmm. It's called the Production Board, and their entire model is pretty cool. I won't spend a lot of time on this, but this thing just amazes me. They basically incubate ideas in science that they think can become companies, right? So a few years ago, he was having dinner with a bunch of scientists, and one of the scientists said, hey, did you see that so-and-so scientist has figured out a way to molecularly reconstruct flavors? Not the way we do it now, which is, drops of a specific flavor that's made chemically in a lab, but actually molecularly create flavors. And he was like, holy shit. So he went and hired that guy, built a team up, started studying it. The name of the company is Caba. They're coming out and tackling the beverage market. And they have a little cartridge that has 80, whatever they are, that make up these molecular ingredients. And you can, to a T, recreate alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverages with these cartridges, right? And The cool thing is they're building it as a marketplace. So existing brands can create formulas, but the average consumer can create drink formulas and recreate them. So it's a molecular thing, though. It's not like flavor ingredients added. The cartridge combines these molecular ingredients to create these beverages. So what he talked about was, in terms of manufacturing, is the amount, I can't remember the numbers he quoted, but the amount of climate gas created from just shipping beverages all over the world, manufacturing them. 98% of every beverage is water on average. So you eliminate all of this massive shit if they get widespread adoption of these machines in the home, because all you need now is a cartridge and your water, and you can make any drink you want. So they make everything. They make all kinds of wines now. They're making beer flavors. They're making what are those carbonated alcoholic drinks? Anyway, very cool. I thought it was interesting. I think there are massive changes coming for the world. So
wait, these guys are in India?
No. The company's Caba. His company is called the Production Board, backed by Alphabet and a bunch of other big companies.
Sorry, I just saw it's a Cava. It was Cava flavors in India, doing kind of flavors and shit too. So.
Yeah, no, this is called Caba, and it's the machine's not out yet. First gen, I think he said next year, but sounds really impressive. First couple of versions, he said, will be more luxury because they'll be expensive for just their cost of goods. But after that, it just sounds amazing. So anyway, go ahead.
Do they have a token? Do they have a token?
No.
Okay. No, I was trying to figure out trying to figure out how to search it.
I wish they had a fucking token. I think it's Cava.com. I think he said it was Cava.com. Yeah, Cava.
Okay. Oh, CA. I'm on K. That's what's messing me up.
Cava.com.
Isn't that? Yeah, that's like close to wine in Spanish, I think.
I have no idea.
Cava.com. Okay.
Anyway, sounds like a powerful model. It could eliminate a lot of crap in the middle, but it could also eliminate a lot of jobs, like huge numbers of jobs. But it could also eliminate massive impacts of fuel costs, shipping costs, water usage, wasted, because now people will be able to make the drinks they want, right? So anyway, very cool model. People will be able to create their own mixes, sell them in the marketplace, so they'll get a cut every time somebody uses it. It's a cool model. Anyway, so
yeah, looks cool.
Let me share this real quick.
I'm just looking at the food side of it,
and then we'll get into some trading stuff here shortly. I got a couple of things queued up for yield stuff shortly here. So
yeah, and I got a bunch of stories too.
So this is really interesting. Hayden Adams, who, founder of Yearn, etc., right? Had his bank account closed at JP Morgan Chase. Okay. No warning, no nothing, just said, you're out because you're crypto, basically, right?
Really?
Well, yeah. So here's what's really interesting, though. And somebody commented and said, that's probably a direct order from the Fed to force the bank to close it, and then the bank isn't allowed to disclose the reason why it was closed. But here's the really interesting thing. If you look at Hayden's profile, which I went and looked at, so he just recruited on January 21st, Gordon Lau, and guess where Gordon was recruited from? The Federal Reserve.
He's trying to get some protection.
No. I think what happened was they got fucking pissed off that he's recruiting people out of the Federal Reserve to work for him. And somebody said, let's go close this asshole's account. Right. And the order came down and his account was closed. I mean, who knows? I have no evidence of that, but it's pretty interesting.
So he's the Yearn guy, and what else does he do right now?
What?
The guy you're talking about, whose account was closed. You said
Hayden Adams.
Yeah. So what other things is he doing beyond Yearn? Do you know?
I'm sorry, not Yearn, Uniswap. I shouldn't have said
Yearn. Uniswap.
Yeah,
okay.
no, he's the founder of Uniswap. Sorry about that.
Got it. So, okay. Yeah. So this is a DeFi play.
Yeah.
So there's probably an issue there. Obviously. you
Of
know, with the
course.
amount of money he's rolling through that account.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure. But I mean, you know, look, all it takes is somebody documented in another reply to it that all it takes is the Federal Reserve telling a bank to close an account because they have concerns, and the bank has to close the account. So anyway, very interesting. Just you know, the machinations of what's going on. You were going to talk about executive order coming out.
Oh yeah, I saw some news today that there's the White House is preparing an executive order over sometime in the next couple of weeks to guide, direct the federal agencies to figure out how they could use crypto best, and you know, how to improve efficiencies of government. All of those types of things is what the early indicators are. So it's going to direct the government to start really figuring out how to use this better in our society. Is everything I see. Now I don't know what that's going to be or what it's going to look like, but I expect it to be. My read is it's going to be a positive. It's not going to be a negative enforcement thing, because you can't with a executive order.
Yeah,
you can only go to the agencies. So my thing is going to be like, get your shit together, figure how we use this in procurement, how we use it in, you know, treasury stuff, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
So that's very positive in my mind. At least they're going somewhere. Versus nobody trying to set a policy. But the White House is taking the lead on that policy. Regardless of your politics, that's still good because it's at the, you know, the apex of directional government.
Yeah, my only concern is with the dump, that it gives them a reason to be negative about it. We must protect consumers, blah, blah, blah. But we'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's not going to actually, there's not going to be an executive order enforcing any or putting any regulation in place. It's going to be go study this shit, right?
Yeah, that's
so
my
it gives us a couple of years. Eamon, by the way, I didn't look at the comments. He had actually corrected me on Adams being Uniswap. That was kind of stupid. So especially since I've been tweeting at Andre last couple of days, even dumber. So you sent me this one. I love this. The president of El Salvador mocked himself up in a McDonald's uniform because of the dump, since he's buying all the Bitcoin for them. So I thought that was pretty funny. That's cute.
Yeah, I saw he bought like 410 just the other day.
Yeah, he did. He did.
So I mean,
should have waited on that dip a little longer.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know where they started buying. I have no idea. But you know, I mean, he's on a one-way trip here. He can't stop now. So
no. He's in. He's in. Look, 10 years or 11 years now of track record. Like, this happens and then it goes up. So you know, it's a pretty fucking good bet. You know,
I think so too. I don't know where else you go.
It's not a stupid bet.
I remember one time there was this political scientist when I was in undergrad, Rostow, Rostow, and he wrote some stuff at the turn of the 19th to 20th centuries about third world developing countries and how they have to get to a growth rate that's faster than industrialized countries, or they never catch up. They're always the also ran. So you know, you look at the countries that really tried to push that, had higher growth rates than the industrial ones. It was like Gaddafi in Libya 20 years ago. It's you know, these ones that you wouldn't think that were really rattling the cage and had oil, and they were trying to grow to first world status. Well, you know, it didn't work out.
Look what happened to Gaddafi.
Yeah, it didn't work out for him. But the IMF isn't militarized.
Didn't fucking work out for him.
But that wasn't what took him down. You know, that was more about him trying to, but it does make you wonder.
It does make you wonder. I guarantee you, it's part of the fucking equation.
Why is the fastest, you know, growing third world economy at that point the pariah?
Right.
And you know, I don't know.
And now they're in pure fucking chaos, from what I understand. So
it's just another tribal mess, basically. But
go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I was going to say you go.
Oh, Fantom overtook Binance Smart Chain in total TVL. Now, we talked like.
You broke up. I can't hear you, dude. Can you hear me? Okay. Yeah, I can't hear you at all. I don't know if the listeners can hear you. Yeah, it can't hear us. Oh, I heard something for a second. Oh, okay. Can you guys hear me? Oh, yeah. Okay. You guys can hear me. All right. They can't hear you. So, all right. Let me just switch screen real quick. I'll share. Okay. Hold on. Okay. So, I guess it's me. One of this article I saw here, this about illiquid supply going up. 5 things to watch in Bitcoin this week. I thought was pretty interesting. The generational bottom concept, that, we're kind of hitting. What they talk about here is the point where it gets to that lowest point, to where everybody comes in to buy for the next cycle. And, they seem to see it at the 30,000. I've heard 28.5. And then they talk here about the network cost basis being 24,000. So if the cost per Bitcoin is 24,000, then the delta between that and price is the value. Well, excuse me, the created value at that point. So, it looks like, if I got the wick down to 24, we're going to have a massive flip around at that point. So I thought that was pretty interesting. I'm talking about a lot of stuff kind of coming off exchanges again. Talking about the MVRV below 1.0, but right now it's only at 1.5. So that's
Joe, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. You're back,
awesome.
buddy. All right. And so then it talks about gap filling on trading, and then spotlight on RSI. Interestingly enough, RSI is completely oversold right now. Which, I would thought it was going to be the other way. They were going to say it was like overbought or something, or just to say we haven't corrected yet. But this is showing that it's, look, the current BTC weekly RSI is 37. The March crash RSI was 35. All bare bottoms, 29 to 35. So that shows that we're almost to the bottom to me right there, of whatever this adjustment is. I mean, I guess it could go lower, but basically the whole summation is closer to the bottom than the top. And here's another thing about monthly RSIs, something to look at. And then the miners, I guess they're holding firm, still cranking, even though the price is lower. I think because we said earlier, the cost is 24 grand per BTC right now. So that seems to be good, but lots of good data in this article. I mean, I can just read it to you, but the main thing, illiquid supply is growing. RSI is way down, and it looks like it's a generational bottom or pretty darn close to it. And there's a good chart here showing the differential. It looks like, let's see if we can get this zoomed up a little bit. Price, supply, illiquid supply. So you can see how this has been coming out of the exchanges and into sort of cold storage or, saving mode, while the price has been going down. Now, what does that tell you? That tells you there's going to be there's a potential supply squeeze here and a bunch of short squeeze that could happen if anything happens to move this up. I mean, that's sort of my read. So I kind of feel we're really, and then this one, sentiment index, a hair from historic lows. So to me, I think that there's so much negative stuff out there right now that, again, I felt this way about the Fed stuff, that I think that, we're kind of in this place where we could have a fast turn. Okay. Here's one, BlackRock files for a blockchain focused ETF. So, whenever you see all the big financial houses going for blockchain, they mean crypto. they're saying blockchain.
Right.
All right. But, that's a, $10 trillion asset manager. And we've been talking about BlackRock a lot, but that makes total sense. No, it's okay.
Didn't mean to kick you off. I thought I could just share my screen in the background. Go ahead.
Okay. And then Secret, our guy Tor and his buddies that we met at the Decentra DeFi conference. Remember, did you ever talk to him after we talked? He gave us the shirts and hats and everything. Did you ever message him to get on the show?
I did message him. I don't think I ever heard back. It's been so
Okay.
long. I don't remember now.
Yeah,
I'll have to
so
check.
They just opened up a $400 million fund.
He's been making the round on the podcast, so I'll ping him and see, get him on
Yeah.
the Mission DeFi.
Yeah, so figure out what exactly is the play there, but there's people committing more capital.
Yep.
And then blockchain. I thought this was interesting. Metaverse ecosystems are gaining traction. Brands create digital experiences. I mean, we all know that a lot of the big brands are buying tons of land in these virtual worlds, already. I saw just one deal. I saw a big one was the Adidas deal. And then what they're doing with crypto in their like websites and marketing is pretty impressive. And did we talk about Fantom passing everybody up with
I was just about to do that.
You want to do it?
Yeah,
I'll pop it up and you talk. Here, I'm gonna.
Okay.
Are you gonna pull it up? Okay.
No, that's fine. Go ahead. So Fantom passed Binance Smart Chain in total TVL. Now, we talked last week about why that happened, and that is Andre Cronje actually is launching VE33, and the top 20 projects in TVL as of the snapshot, I think it was yesterday, will get an NFT representing some level of voting and power within this new protocol, which actually sounds interesting, but we still don't have a ton of details on it. That said, so what happened is all of these other projects, not all of these, a few other projects started up to get people to deposit, and so they could have a project, a DAO, that was in the top 20 and could secure an NFT. And it worked. At the end of the day, they were able to, a couple of those projects that did it qualified in the top 20. So I thought that was really interesting. And then the article came out today saying that Fantom had surpassed Binance Smart Chain in total TVL. Looks like also in transactionally, they're starting to do well. They're not going to compete with Binance on that yet, or number of wallets, but still growing. So I did a little snarky tweet at Andre Cronje saying, I see what you did there, buddy. Right. Because it was like, it's a brilliant move. It's like, okay, let's boost the TVL up. We're right underneath Binance Smart Chain. It gives me a way to get people engaged. Everybody piles money into the projects that they love, that they want to have an NFT. And his chain, Fantom, his chain that he developed the consensus mechanism for, then boosts up in overall TVL and gets a lot of attention. And I tweeted something else today, and it's like, look, right now, this is the time. Anybody else that's licking their fucking wounds and kind of slowing down on their work is an idiot on any project, because this right now, when everybody's hurting, when everybody's scared, this is when the champions get made. That's when the Amazons of the world get made, right? In .com, that's the leaders, the people that came out of that shit without going under were the ones who said, this is my opportunity. I'm going to seize everything I can. And so to me, this move by Andre, the move up by Fantom, I think it just speaks to a general attitude that I love to see. And then we could talk about the abysmal fucking
Solana
last 4 days for Solana, right?
Yeah, I don't know if I have a link on that, but I saw something about like transactions per minute, 52.
It was dying.
Yeah,
well, here's the sad part. Again, who gets fucked in this, right? It's not the VCs. I mean, I'm sure there were some big investors that were leveraged, but retail traders can't get in to even buy out their debt, right? So all these people are getting liquidated because the chain is so fucked up. If this was the first time it had happened, I wouldn't be so concerned. But it's like, holy crap. I mean, what have there been 3 or 4 outages now for Solana? I get it. I'm all for alpha, beta, whatever you want to call it. I understand there are bugs. I understand there are issues. But this couldn't have been worse timing. Like, just pitiful, just painfully bad timing. Like, oh, God.
Well,
and look, there are a lot of cool things happening on that chain. And I interviewed Kyle Samani, who's probably the biggest VC in Solana. And I know everyone wants to, say evil VCs, blah, blah, blah. The bottom line is, yes, they're in it to make a buck. But after talking to him, I think he's a true believer in creating a better, faster protocol, right? Does he have outsized influence on it? Maybe. But at the same time, he's somebody that gets this shit, who's motivated, who's mission based, and sure, he's mostly profit based, but the guy's not stupid enough to dump all his fucking tokens on retail traders and kill the chain that will make him a lot of money over time. So I think he's in it for the long haul. I don't dislike Solana. It's a little nerve wracking for people who are heavily invested there to have these kinds of things happen at the worst possible time. So,
well, yeah, and this happened before too in the summer.
Yeah.
I seem to remember sometime when this was all down. But look, yeah, I read that story too, and it was more than one. It was a lot of people, and you know what happens when you've got money on a platform, you've borrowed against it, and you've got these liquidation ratios, just like you're borrowing margin to buy stocks or something. You have liquidation ratios that you have to deal with, and you're watching it, and it's, you kind of run next to the edge, and then everything moves, and you got to get out. And then if Solana's down at that point, and then you get liquidated.
Yep.
And so you lose your collateral, or at least the net of it all. And, that's just unacceptable.
Yeah.
If there's 5 billion people heading for the door, there's going to be a
and you're screaming, hey, regulators, come over here. Look at all these people that got fucked. Now, I did read that one of the big dexes there is going to reimburse those that got liquidated. So that's good news. And it's a smart move. I think, frankly, Solana should probably, as a foundation with their money, probably go help out everybody they can that got liquidated. I mean, it's not like it's not trackable, right? So, it's concerning. Okay,
well,
so
they need to get their act together is what they need to do.
Yeah, look, I understand bugs. I get it. This happens. And there was supposedly a Herculean effort from developers in and out of the core team to solve the problem. I think they now have it solved, but look, when people hear these stories and it happens one time, they think, okay, they fixed it, I'll come back in, right? But when it happens 2, 3 times, 4 times, however many times it's been, people aren't going to want to take the risk. Only the true believers are going to be left, right? I'm not saying it's going under. I'm not saying it's horrible or it's badly run. I'm just saying once the reputation's gone, it's really hard to get it back. And so then people aren't going to come back until you've got a year of high transaction levels and high TVL, right? So where was that? I thought I had it open. I don't have it open. I'm not going to bother with it. If we need to fill in at the end, I'll do that. Oh, wait, let me check something real quick. I've got a 130. Okay. So anyway, so I was thinking about stable coins and stable bear market investments. And we talked about that a little bit last week. So I just wanted to quickly walk you guys through a way to find some of those. So if you go to multifarm.fi, you connect to the account. So it's app.multifarm.fi, which is the app, right? And then you click up on assets up here. And then you come over here to the purple button, advanced search. You can either pick things like single staking or single yield, or you can do what I did in this example and pick stable coins, right? So you click apply. Now you're going to see all of the stable coin farms. And then you can sort them by APR day or APR yearly. So if you sort them by APR per day, you'll start seeing the pairs that are available that are stable coins, right? And you're going to see some rates that are pretty interesting. So USDC MIM on Spirit Swap at 46.82%. Now, I will say that in a lot of these cases, there are booster things you've got to be doing. You've got to cross stake other tokens, whatever. But a stable to stable pair, Frax USDC on Moon River, on Sushi on Moon River, 45.79%. Fantom, that's the USDC MIM one. So anyway, in doing that, I stumbled across this one, which is on Fantom. And for some reason, I saw something about this last week.
But what is that? Chi-DAO?
0x DAO, OXDAO. So OXDAO.fi. But I mean, on Fantom, these are some pretty good, like their pair against USDC is paying 2,881%. Obviously, some of us are a little gun shy on standard tokens versus stables right now, or standard tokens at all. But FTM, I still think that everything that's happening with Fantom, to me,
dude, BTC at
bet is good.
51%.
50.41%. I have no idea if these are like boosted pools or what, but I mean, these are some great rates. Now, do I know the project? Do I know the people behind it? No, but these look pretty good. And something, did. This is a VE33 project. That's why I heard about it.
Okay.
So they started this VE33 project to get one of the NFTs. Did they get one? That's the question. And I guess they set up these pools to get people to incentivize people to come in. Let's check DeFi Llama and see if they ended up getting one of the one of the NFTs.
Well, shit, they got 4 billion.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Fucking A, number 2. They are number 2
on DeFi Llama?
Fantom. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, you're right, Damon. Thanks, 0G. It is a VE33 play. So 4 billion staked or in TVL.
Yep.
And they're paying some nice rewards. So this might be something to hop in and out of. I don't know who's behind the project. So let's see if they disclose any of that. Eamon, do you know about anything about going on? That's what I was looking at. Oh, and I think I actually, sorry about that, dude. Poor Eamon. He keeps posting shit that I go and look at later. And he's like, dude, I posted that.
Yeah, I was in the Discord over the weekend and I saw some really good stuff in there.
Oh, there's so much good shit going on in the Discord. Eamon, sorry about that, man. I actually today went to it from Multifarm, but you're right. That's where I was familiar to me because you had posted it. So thank you to the hardest working guy in our entire community, 0G, for always bringing the good content. I don't know how he does it with everything he has going on, but he said all the heads of the major protocols on Fantom are in this DAO. So no wonder it has 4 billion under management. We should just have, you know what? Maybe Eamon should come on the show instead of me. And I can work on the white paper stuff.
An analyst.
You could talk to him as somebody that actually knows what the fuck's going on. So that'd be good.
Well, the thing is, a lot of people in these markets, you want to farm. But the downside is, as you know, is alts, I think, probably still have a little bit of room to bleed here.
Yeah.
And on these sort of emission tokens, like you saw, people are farming on IDEX that I know right now. It's the only place they're farming. But they're dumping the rewards every single day. So the IDEX token is down to like 9 or 11 cents or something from where, it was at like 26 or 7 last week, I think. So when everybody's dumping rewards, look at Define. I think Crystal was getting hit a little bit on that too.
Yeah.
Things can go bad. But when I look here, I see X Scream. I don't know what the X designates. That must be a liquidity, a staking token from somewhere.
Yeah.
But maybe it's off.
I bet Eamon knows. Go ahead, Eamon, tell us.
Maybe it's on. Spooky Swap or something.
Maybe they tell us in the. Oh, here it is. Get X Scream. I'll tell you right now. Oh. Scream.
You don't have.
Oh, it's a staking token on Scream. Okay. Oh, that's ugly. Your country has been blocked.
Yeah, no, I don't have my VPN up either. So
I got to get out of this fucking country.
You just VPN, dude.
I know, but I just in general got to get out.
Well, you know what it says at the top? Do you see that quote? We're not telling you to invest in us. You are. But yeah, there's these types of things. I mean, this one is kind of a newbie Web3 TVL of 4 billion. I don't know what the chart is. 9 cents for the OXD token.
Yeah.
I don't see a chart. I'm not digging a chart out right now, but it looks to me like this would be a great place to farm.
Yeah.
Lots of stability. I mean, all the other ones we look at, like Define, I think had 18 million in TVL, and Crystal had like
it's up 38.5%. It's probably the only fucking green token on all of CoinGecko.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, it's going to go. This might be one to.
That's interesting. Well, and I love the fact that it's backed by so many big names in the Fantom space. So
yeah,
that's fucking awesome.
So they'll pump it up for a while.
Yeah.
So I'm going to get in this one later on today.
Anyway, so if you're looking at places to keep earning some yield without having to fucking stay awake at night, Multifarm is your friend. There are other projects like Multifarm that'll show you potential stuff, but it's a great, easy way to find shit that you want. If you have a bunch of a token, say, let's look at Geom. If you have, I got to take off the advanced search. Got to get that off.
Yeah, there was a good article over the weekend talking about, the OM model.
So if you're hanging on to some Geom, right, and you want to earn more from it, I think there was a pair with stables too. What were we talking about last week? Geom Frax. So here, Geom Frax, 18.58%, right? And there was Geom on Tokamak as well as Alchemix, right? So I'm holding all these. Today's my day to start going into some of these with some of these tokens I'm holding, because I didn't sell at the top. I wasn't actually planning to. That wasn't the strategy for these tokens. I'm making a longer term bet, but there's a lot of opportunities for you to earn more from the things that you're stuck holding or that you want to hold. And so I would definitely recommend taking a look around. This is interesting. We ALCX paying 119% on sushi, right? If you feel like ETH and Alchemix are kind of maintaining the same price points, up and down and staying in the same range, correlated. Yeah. Thank you. That's good. English is good. My mother's an English teacher, by the way, Joe.
Oh,
couldn't tell, could you?
No, you speak like a gringo. I can tell.
So.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is that racist? Can I say?
Yeah, there you go. Probably. I don't know. So, remind me to tell you later about a foot in the mouth moment I had earlier today. I can't. It's definitely not one I can say on the show. But anyway, there's a lot of opportunities out there for you to be earning more.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Well, also, remember we were talking a lot about this in Pumptober. And then we went down the rebase rabbit hole.
Oh, Pumptober! I forgot about Pumptober, Joe.
And then we went down the
Bring back everything. Pumptober.
Well, I didn't even know it was over in November. I thought it was still going, man. I think Snow Dogg was my sort of moment of clarity. Like, wait, what?
That's fucking hilarious.
And then all the other people in these other chats that I know put huge money into Snow Dogg, that winnings from all these other ones, and I'm like, really? Yeah. I'm like, I didn't put in huge, but people were down. But that was kind of the moment of clarity. But the thing is, don't forget on Polygon, look at, Sushi Swap's everywhere, but look at QuickSwap, look at Crystal, look at Cometh, look at Sushi, look at all of those. And then Fantom, Spooky Swap, Spirit Swap, Avalanche, Trader Joe's. Look at all of those platforms and see, because they all have pools and they all have sometimes little bits of single staking. And then look at Aave, Geist, and Blizzard. And, see what the rates are there to deposit. So if you're going to borrow, I think you can deposit on, I saw a Geist, you could get like 15 to 20% for.
I ain't borrowing shit right now.
Oh, I'm not either. I deleveraged everything.
So the other thing to think about is staking on like Lido. And what's the other one? I think it's called Rocket Pool, I think is the other one where you're staking ETH. So if you've got a ton, Eamon said, vote just passed to cut OXD emissions. I could see the reduction in supply, maintain the price now. Who knows? Nice. Very nice. Eamon, our reporter in the field. Let's go to our traffic reporter, Eamon, 0G, for an update.
Hanging out at the club in Malta. Doing some market research.
So anyway, staking. Look, if you're a true believer in ETH, Solana, whatever else Lido has, or Lido, I don't know what it's called, has available for staking, and you've been accumulating, and you expect these values to go down, earn more, put them in and stake them. Don't just hold them sitting in your wallet. If you trust the protocol, the project that's allowing for the Ethereum staking, you think Ethereum 2.0 is going to explode, and make Ethereum available for more transactions for real people, then go for it, right? Buy the dip of tokens that you've already holding or that you believe in. If you're a Bitcoin maximalist, an Ethereum maximalist, or you just like specific tokens, you think they have long-term value, buy the dip. Or if you're down on the ones you're holding, DCA that shit if you think we've hit the bottom, right? Like I've been DCAing a little bit on Olympus because it's hard to imagine any more bottom, but there's always a 90% further jump. I think actually Eamon said that to me too. I'm just going to start saying everything that Eamon says. Yeah.
There's always the dollar target.
There's always the US dollar, which you are going to lose on daily. So
Yeah.
there's that. So anyway, I posted my little rah-rah tweet about this is the time when champions are made. I said, move, acquire, launch, innovate, win. I was talking about Fantom's move, Andre Cronje's move with this V33 protocol. And one of our listeners, Unprepared Bear, gave us our tagline, Joe. Like, gave us the tagline for the show forever. He said, well, first he made fun of the acronym, which I really wasn't making an acronym. So he said,
yours, because it's BO. It's BO5. Everybody's like, BO.
B0.
I know,
anyway,
but everybody goes BO.
He was making fun of MALIW. I should have reordered those. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't even know what
we
that
make
means.
out of that. Anyway, move, acquire, launch, innovate, win. And he said, come on, Brad, you can form a better acronym. He said, just kidding. Love your podcast. Two dads figure out DeFi and tell stories of the prehistoric interweb. I am getting merch made with that. That is like so fucking perfect, dude. That's going in.
Yeah, no, I really like that a lot too. Because I was like thinking, that is friggin' hysterical, because I never really feel like I'm older, still until I try to get up and walk across the room or something.
Yeah.
But it's like,
there it is.
But there's
our banner. That's our tagline.
Yeah. And then can you flip to my screen for a second?
Yeah.
I want to get on this one. And of course, just from the two of the influencers in the space, Snoop Dogg coming out with the next tagline: buy low, stay high. And then Pompliano replies, legend, hair brands. I thought that was pretty funny. I didn't expect Sergeant Pompliano to be like jumping on that one. But
look, he's in Miami now. He lives in Miami now.
Oh,
he and his wife moved down here, built this studio out here, everything.
Probably
still has his New York place. I would suspect he's somewhere on the beach or one of those Venetian Causeway islands out there,
somewhere between Sunny Isles down to, Fisher Island, somewhere in that range.
He's probably living someplace close to Shervin Pishavar and, those folks out there. So he's not in my neighborhood. That's for sure.
No, I didn't know they had moved down here. That's cool.
Yeah. He's down here. So, we got that medical marijuana card down here and it's pretty easy to get. So,
oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah. Everybody I know has one.
Really?
Oh,
wow.
God. Are you kidding? Well, most of the parents, so our friends are mostly parents of my daughter, right? And my son, right? And so
parents of your son's friends?
Friends, right. Yeah. And so they're all like, except for one or two, 20 years younger than us, right? So
19. How these kids be 19?
So they're all stoned daily, they're like wine and dope. So
yeah, no, but they do micro doses now. It's not like, with these vape things.
Yeah.
All right. I was talking to someone about that my daughter about that. I said, you guys got to go old school. It's like, it's one thing to be running around sneaking little micro hits with a little device and nobody can smell, but try to sit in a movie theater and smoke a joint and see what happens. Versus sneaking little one.
Here we are talking about prehistoric marijuana days.
Yeah, the old interbong or whatever.
When pot didn't put you in a coma.
Yeah. But you had to smoke I've heard you had to smoke a lot more of it.
Heard my ass.
Anecdotal evidence.
All right. Did I have anything else? Hold on. Oh, you know what? I was back looking at Footprint, and they've upped their game a bit, man. They've got some really cool default panels. If anybody wants to look at it, it's footprint.network, and I just heard that they may have raised a round. So I think they're going to be up in their game. But this is really cool. This is a panel a dashboard that's all DeFi venture capital investments and the percentage of them. But look at this fucking gaming number in 2021.
You got to switch your screen.
Oh, you've got the screen.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Look at this. So gaming in 2021 had the lion's share of overall investments, right? What else? Tooling. So people betting on infrastructure, et cetera, tooling, things for building, trading, lending, exchanges, metaverse, liquidity, marketplace. I'll stop there. Data. yield. Oh, collectibles 25. So anyway, this is a really interesting dashboard. Shows you these are the top ones here by number of investments by category. This is number of funding number of investments by category in 2021 versus 2020. So 2020 trading was the big one. Exchanges was 2, data. 2021 it was gaming, tooling, trading number 3. So pretty interesting. What else? This is an interesting dashboard on the GameFi breakdowns and where the money's going for GameFi. So I find this really fucking nuts. And I'd like to climb a little deeper to find out why. But 21 well, so these are duplicated. I'm not weekly number of games by chain. So 21% of the games, I guess this is each of these represents a week, are on Ethereum. The next level is BSC. The next level is Polygon and fucking EOS for where the most games are deployed. 31 chains have games on them. Daily gaming volume is 47 million. 3.9 billion raised for GameFi. Now this is interesting. Wow, I don't know why that. Hive has 34.5%. Hive is the fork of Justin Tron's when Justin tried to take over
BTT.
No,
he got that one. That's right.
Yeah, no, it'll come to me later. Anyway, Hive is a fork, community owned. I find it really interesting. It's coming up with the market share of gamers. It's a fast protocol, so it makes sense. Gamers obviously need fast protocols in order to survive. Now, interestingly enough, I know that Fantom was making last year a big push into gaming, but I don't think they're yet seeing the fruits of their labor. It may be that the guys didn't check for Fantom on this chart because they're not coming up with anything. And I know there have been some games that launched there, but this was really interesting to me. DeFi Kingdoms is way surpassed Axie Infinity in volume. Now that may be the nature of the game itself, how it functions, that the volume is higher. Anyway, very interesting that the daily volumes are much higher. There was a big plunge, of course, at the plunge price. Everybody's like, what the fuck am I doing in games when everything's dumping? So games ranking by gamers, not sure what that means. Oh, number of gamers. Again, this time it's Splinterlands, which I believe is Wax, and Axie Infinity number 2, Farmer's World number 3. No idea what Farmer's World is. So anyway, pretty interesting data as well. I've been advising a project in that space that's doing a raise. They did pretty well up until this weekend. We'll see if they're able to raise any more money after the dump. So I don't know. Let's see what happens.
So what's your interpretation of all this data for 2022?
Look, I think the gaming is still going to grow. I think it's the fastest. I think VCs see it as a fast way to revenue. I think they see it as the best way to grow adoption across the board in DeFi. I think they probably see it as a potential partner to their other projects and portfolio investments. So they think that that's a way to get people in. And just look at the numbers around gaming in general in the market, right? Without DeFi, without GameFi, it's gigantic money. So, and it's something that people will play for hours and hours and days at a time. And if they're earning money from it, they're probably going to do it even more. So I think that's why it's going to continue to get the investments, right?
Yeah.
And in a downturn, in a recession, people turn to games, right? When they got nothing else to do, here's the thing. They already turn to games and leisure activities that are fairly inexpensive in a recession. But now if they can play games and earn money, guess what's going to happen, right? If we hit a recession and we start seeing some economic problems, gaming is going to be a GameFi investment is probably going to be one of the best investments in DeFi.
Yeah. Well, and add one more thing to that, the deployment of NFTs into games.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you just, boost it up.
Yeah.
But I saw, it was interesting. I saw a piece of press when I was going through everything this morning, and just to show you how much that trend is on. Then there was an article saying that, interviewed a bunch of gamers, and gamers don't care about crypto or NFTs. And I'm like, developers. And I'm like, really? I said, where you been, dude? That's what I'm thinking. I mean, and they go, only 60-something% want to do business models or gaming models with NFTs and crypto. And I'm like, then how can the article headline gamers indifferent about
Yeah.
crypto.
Look,
and
here's the
NFTs.
bottom line. It's the same thing. My son always worries because he knows, I have a relationship with Doki and that kind of thing. He's like, Dad, everybody in my age group hates NFTs and doesn't want NFTs in gaming, and blah, 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 blah. I said, Zachary, I'm not concerned, because what's going to happen is as soon as they start seeing people making money, the people who decide to invest in it, all of that's going to change. When people can make money from something, their entire mindset will change. And when they understand that proof of stake is not, in fact, impacting climate change, they'll even be more likely, it'll make it easier for them to jump in. So when they understand that Fantom, BSC, Polygon, Avalanche, none of those have mining, and they're all proof of stake, and there's a lot of money to be made for people who are good at games, guess what? Everybody's going to dive in. So I tell him, I'm not worried about it. I have no worries about adoption coming from young people eventually. So, look, I think GameFi is a really smart investment coming into a downturn. It's like, come in, take over. To me, I think it'll just keep growing. So.
Me too. And I was talking to one of my buddy's daughters a few months ago up in DC, and, who's really into art, and, I think she's like 16 or 17, but I said to her, where do you think, because I've always had this thing with art where it's like, where do you go next? Once you got past like, from realism onto impressionism, expressionism, contemporary, abstract, pop, whatever, what comes next in art? It went to collages, mixed medium, and then it went to computer art, but it was all this fractal stuff. So I'm always trying to figure out where it goes. And there were one or two things she came up with. One was sort of crowdsourced art was something that I thought was interesting. And then she said NFTs. So to me, and she's 16 or 17. So I think that there's propaganda going in the gaming channels right now about, environmental bad, this stuff, which is not exactly true.
It's all the progressives who are afraid of losing control of the money. And they know NFTs are the gateway in. And so they're going after crypto and they're going after NFTs because they have been convinced that losing control of the money to a decentralized system is going to be bad for people, when in fact it's going to be very good for people. The other part of it is the progressives in power are scared of it because it means they no longer control who gets the money, right? When your purpose in life is to help poor people, supposedly, which I get, and that is threatened by something, then what do? You attack it, right? So I think that's another part of it, an ego thing. And so, the other thing is this could very well be entrenched traditional finance interests who are trying to get this messaging out because they want to kill it with younger people, right? So that also could be part of it. So, there's any number of things that could be causing this, but at the end of the day, I'm not worried because when people start figuring out they can make money from it, they'll do it.
Well, there've been people figuring that out on Roblox with Robux for 10 years. That's why I don't buy the analysis of the article.
Yeah. Exactly.
I think it's just FUD. Yep. And there's always someone, running these campaigns. Somebody is paying for this campaign.
Yeah.
Of course, we don't know who, but it's usually someone who benefits. So then you think, who benefits? I mean, I was kind of surprised with the all the NFT pushback, this alleged pushback from gamers, just because of how many games have rewards in them.
Exactly.
And remember that group I was doing some work with a few years ago that was trying to get a platform transferable SEC approved token going?
Yep.
Well, they got it SEC approved, but all of a sudden, the franchises don't want to let you move it out of the platform to another one. So you have to create a whole new platform. So the only way to do it is introduce other concepts into the existing platforms and see what happens. But to me, again, this is a bump in the road, a big bump. But, if you hold steady and selectively lower your cost, the buy cost of your things, you'll come out okay. Yep. And look, if crypto goes down, there's not going to be a financial market in traditional. It's gone too at that point.
Everything's gone. Yeah.
So this is not an either or. This is a diversification play. You play for yield and returns here. You play stable over in equities and banks and deposits and things like that. This is where you get your juice. So I just think this is another little transition thing. myself, but we'll see what happens. It's just
Definitely.
one person's opinion.
Real quick update on the club, folks. I have a call this afternoon with our attorney. Finally, I know I keep telling you we're close and then we're not close. Sorry about that. I should have just said, wait until I announce it. I don't know how many of you folks that signed up are still interested with the currently wounded personal portfolio values that we're all experiencing. Joe and I are still in. So hopefully some of you will be. If you're not, that's cool. We'll still talk about it. We are definitely rethinking the strategy. Those of you contributing ideas in the Discord, really appreciate it. Hoping to finalize the document in the next couple of days. I'm not going to promise you when it'll be done. The other thing is Joe and I are working on something a bit bigger, of which this will be, the club will be part of it. And it will be something that can benefit everyone that watches and participates in the show and in the Discord. So if you haven't joined the Discord, please go to missiondefi.com, click the Discord link. You can also always DM me if you have ideas for the show. If you have feedback, I had some really good feedback this week from a bunch of different people. I appreciate it. Negative is always welcome, because all Joe and I want to do is make this something you learn from and something that's entertaining. And we want to hear from you. So do not be afraid to give us criticism and feedback on the things we're talking about. If there's other things you would rather we were talking about, let us know. If there are projects you want us to give our ancient interwebs takes on, we're happy to do that as well. So really appreciate all of you. Thank you for listening and watching. Please tell your friends. Please go to Apple Podcasts, Apple iTunes, and rate us and subscribe. Everything you do to kind of push it out there and promote it and tweet about it is always appreciated. We love you guys. Have a great afternoon. We'll see you tomorrow at noon.
Yeah, thanks, Brad, and thank you, everyone. One just final thing. Watch Spell this week. It's like below a penny again. It seems to run between like 0.8 and 2.2 cents. So I've done it this swing 3 or 4 times in the past. I'm in it again. So it's just so cheap, and it's a major player with a big vision. So you want to make a little money. I think there's a little money to be made there. But anyhow, thank you, everyone, and look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Thanks, Brad.
Thanks.
As always.
Thanks, Eamon, for all your great help, man. Really appreciate it. Zero G in the Discord, everybody. Give them a big thank you. Have a great day. See ya.
Bye.
Bye-bye.